Good morning, children. Now this is 9th class social studies. This is the 6th lesson, agriculture in India. Okay, children. In the previous class also, I discussed about this lesson. What crops are growing in India? What are the food crops? What are the commercial crops? In which states growing abundantly food crops and commercial crops? What kinds of suitable temperature is need? Okay, how much rainfall is need for a particular crop, etc. children. But next one, after independence, the position is changed, children. Before independence, we faced some famines. The British government did not took welfare programs towards our Indian people. But after independence, with 5 years plans, in the first 5 years plan, we developed agricultural activities. In this way, we constructed many dams. For example, Nagarjuna Sagar project, Hirakud project, okay, Bakranangal project, etc. project, Damodar Valley project, etc. So we we restored some water. So this water irrigated after rainy season to the cultivated land, children. So in this process we produced more food grains. So that's why we reached self-sufficient in production of food grains, children. So before what happened? We supplied the food grains from other countries. So that was that one. Okay, children. Now listen. I said the first page in the previous class, children. What is the first page? In the first page, 1950 to 1965. So in that first page, we constructed dams. We increased the production of food grains and commercial crops, etc. Next one is second page, children. So the second page stage is 1966 to 1990, children. 1966 to 1990. So here we started green revolution. Okay, children. So when we started green revolution, our main aim is to increase food grains. Why? Because we are suffered due to the famines. Many lakhs of people died. Okay. So that is why, to avoid the famine condition, to supply sufficiently food grains to all people of India, we implemented this green revolution in our country. In this way, we implemented variety seeds, high quality seeds, that is called high yielding varieties. What it is called? HYV. HYV means high yielding varieties. So we implemented high quality seeds. Next one, we applied chemicals and fertilizers in the production, and also even we set up cooperative banks. That cooperative banks are giving loans to the farmers. Okay, children, with low interest. So when cooperative farmers giving loans to the farmers, they, with the amount the farmers are purchasing, what are the requirements of the agriculture? For example, seeds. Okay, so at initial stage, the farmers invest the money for the production. Seeds has to purchase. Next one, tractor for ploughing. Next to pesticides and chemical supplying. Next to labor charges. So these all. Next one, after harvest, what happened? The farmer collect the food grains from the farmland. So the farmer has to sell what is the surplus food grains. So what he need one marketplace. So the government provide marketplace also to the farmers. So that is why farmer is able to purchase what is the excess food grains in his farmland, and he is getting some money. Okay. Next one, machinery. They have to purchase machinery also, children. So for increasing of production of agriculture, the government providing to the farmers agriculture facilities, that means loan facilities, seeds, high yielding variety seeds, chemicals, fertilizers, market facilities, okay, etc. Next one, dry land agriculture. So what about our Indian agriculture land positions? Here two types of lands are there, children. wetland, dryland. Wetland means Magani Bhumi. What is that? Magani Bhumi. Dryland means Metta Bhumi. Okay, in Magani Bhumi we will grow sugarcane, especially paddy, children. Okay, paddy, that means వరి పండిస్తారు. మెట్ట భూమి means pulses ఎక్కువగా పండిస్తారు. So we are growing pulses in dry land, children. Okay, so 40% land only suitable for irrigation facilities. That means we are providing irrigation facilities only 40% of our land, children. Next one, we extended up to 55% irrigated land. What about the remaining 45%? This 45% land is dry land. So in the dry land we cannot to supply water because that land condition is so and so very different than the irrigated wetland, children. Okay, so but some kinds of crops are suitable in the dry land. What that crops? Jowar, bajra, groundnut, ragi, cotton, soybean, tar and grains. Okay, children, so these crops are very suitable even it is a dry land because these crops need not more water compared with banana plantation, sugarcane plantation and also paddy, etc. Okay, children, so that's why government encouraged the farmers to cultivate in dry lands these type of crops, children. So farmers also they realized and they started cultivation these jowar, bajra, groundnut, ragi, cotton, sugarcane, soybean, tar and grains, children. Next one, in dry lands 84% the farmers are growing pulses. Do you know, children, pulses means pappu dhanyalu. What are that? Pappu dhanyalu. That means Bengal gram, Hass gram, red gram, green gram, black gram. Okay, children, so these are all grams. Black gram means minimulu, green gram means pesalu, Bengal gram means senagalu, Hass gram means olavalu. Okay, children, groundnuts. So these pulses are growing in dry land. Next one, effect of green revolution. So what happened when we introduced green revolution in agriculture sector? So when we introduced these all in green revolution, what are that? Irrigation facilities, pesticides, chemicals, high yielding varieties, cooperative banks giving loans to the farmers. So due to these all facilities, what happened in agriculture? We are able to increase food grains before the year. Okay, children, so we are able to increase the food grains. How much time? 5 times. That means from 51 million tons to 242 million tons we produced due to the green revolution. Okay, children, next one, government set up one factory or one place, go down. Why? To stock the food grains. Why the government planned for this? Because before independence we faced many troubles due to the lack of food grains. So that was the main reason. Okay, to avoid the famine condition, we must to keep some food grains for the purpose of future of our country people. So that's why government set up FCI. FCI means Food Corporation of India. So this FCI was set up by the central government. Okay, children, so when FCI set up, what are the excess food grains the government collect from the farmers and they store in a separate place, that is called stock. So this stock will be supplied who are the poor people, who are the needy people, and at natural calamities times, that means cyclone times, drought times, famine times, and also earthquake times. Okay, natural disaster times, the government will supply to these food grains to the needy people, children. Okay, so that is the main reason. Next one, every month government is supplying through ration shops Okay, PDS, public distribution system. The food grains, rice, pulses, kerosene, some kinds of goods, children, necessary goods to the common people. Okay, who have the white ration card. Government is providing every month 5 kgs of rice. Okay, they are entitled 5 kgs of rice who are below poverty line. Okay, children. So this is all are supplying by the government through Food Corporation of India. Okay, children. So next one, 1967 to 19 lakh tons are there, but to 2010-11, how many lakhs tons are there in FCI? 220 lakhs tons are we stocked that one, children. Okay. Next, children, what are food grains? Here commercial crop is there, food crops are there. Okay. So here food grains in 1960 we produced average for acre 287. Okay, what about that one? Paddy and wheat. But at present we are able to produce from our farmlands 800 kilograms per acre, children. అంటే ఎకరానికి 800 కిలోలు మనం పండించగలుగుతున్నాము. గతంలోనైతే ఎకరానికి యావరేజ్ గా మనం 287 మనం పండించేవాళ్ళము. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఎన్వైరన్మెంటల్ ఎఫెక్ట్. Actually, we implemented green revolution methods in some states. What are the states? Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Look at children, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. At initial stage, we saw increase of production in agriculture activities, agriculture product. Okay, children. So that is the one. Next, I want to show you one bar graph here. Look at that. Children, look at this bar graph. So here, production of food grains in million tons. So we produced in 1950 to 51 just 51 million tons food grains. If you go another 10 years, that means 1960 to 61, we produced 82 million tons. Next one, 70 to 71, we produced 108 million tons. Look children, 108. Next, 80 to 81, how much? 130 million tons. Next, 90 to 91, how many? 176 million tons we produced. This bar graph. 2000, 2001, 197 million tons. 2010, 11 information, we produced 242 million tons, children. So once you imagine, once from 1951 to 2011, what difference you observe here according to this bar graph? We are able to produce from 51 million tons to 242 million tons. Okay, children. So here every decade we are producing the food grains increasing almost every decade. That we observed in this bar graph, children. Okay, children. Okay. Next one, children, we implemented 3 states, I said already, Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. We implemented by the farmers for the encouragement of government high yielding varieties in rice and wheat for the first time, children. Okay, which we required plenty of water, rice and wheat. So at initial stage we produced abundant food grains in these 3 states, children. Okay, children. Okay, children, I shall teach you the remaining lesson in the next class. Thank you.